Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV in the new edition of our online interview series. We want to get an update from IsoEnergy, and Tim Gabrush, the CEO, is here with us. Hey, good morning to Canada. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, Jochen. Thanks for having me on. Good to
Yeah,
see you.
thanks for taking the time. Good to see you. I mean, uranium had a super run. We love it all. I mean, we have been already at $75 last week, and we said it when the once the price is moving above the $50, this is a breakout signal, and it happened as said. So fantastic. And now you guys are merging with Consolidated Uranium. So it looks like we get a new champion in Canada for uranium. So what is the sense of the merger?
Yeah, thanks. Well, it's exciting. I mean, we're really happy that it all came together. It came together really quite quickly and very amicably. We really both sides wanted this to happen. What it does is it really is a transformation for ISO and obviously for Consolidated as well. And it in this great environment for uranium, what it does is create a multi-jurisdictional company with assets, in some of the best jurisdictions on the planet. So obviously with ISO, we've got this world-class hurricane deposit in northern Saskatchewan. We've got more than 20 very high-quality exploration projects, and we continue to do a lot of exploration. And Consolidated brings in some great assets in the United States and Australia in particular. They've got some in Argentina as well, but really the focus for us is now to become a multi-jurisdictional uranium company in what I would again call the top tier jurisdictions for uranium on the planet.
Absolutely. And I mean, Consolidated also has, let's say, a production scenario within the next two,
Yeah.
3 years, which might help also to fund the rest of the exploration then, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So yeah, they've got some properties in Utah. So they've got a number of properties in the United States. A lot of interesting stuff, but in Utah, especially Tony M, their site there. It's a past producing facility. It's not huge, but what it does is it's all permitted. It's something that we can bring on very quickly in the right price environment. And you're exactly right, Jochen. If we bring that on and we're able to produce and bring in that cash flow, it's great for the company and it helps our growth. It helps us, fund everything else that we want to do on the existing projects, on further growth, without having to go back to the equity markets to fund all of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think you are just doing also like a large placement, which is totally oversubscribed, right?
Yeah, so we were very happy with the support. So we raised $36.6 million Canadian. That puts us in great shape to fund everything we want to do over the next 12 to 18 months. And yeah, we had incredible support from our some of our biggest shareholders and some really important shareholders. So NextGen came in and was a cornerstone investor. Continue to want to support IsoEnergy, which is critical to us. Mega Uranium, which is a supporter of Consolidated, came in and put in some money, as did Energy Fuels. So Energy Fuels is someone that's very important to us in the United States because they have a relationship with Consolidated for the milling of material at places like Tony M. And so very, very exciting that they would not only support the transaction, but come in and add in some funds and also got some great support from an investment fund called Sachem Cove, who most of your investors are probably familiar with. They're very familiar with the uranium sector. They've spent a lot of time getting to know it, and they're kind of like a real key investment fund in uranium these days. So very happy that these folks that really know uranium, really understand the sector, were some of our biggest supporters.
Fantastic. Yeah, sounds like a great plan. And I think the merger should be done around 28th November. So that's like 4 weeks from here. So everything should be finished by Christmas then, totally? I mean, also
Yeah,
legal
that
stuff?
yeah. Yeah, the 28th is the shareholder vote for Consolidated. So they have a shareholder vote coming up on the 28th. That all going well, we hope to then close by early December. And yeah, there's always little adjustments here and there. So definitely want to be closed before Christmas. And yeah, it puts us in great standing to enter the new year with this great new company with a lot of exciting pieces to move forward within the space at a time when
Hmm.
again the market, as you mentioned, is doing incredibly well, and it's just really an exciting spot in nuclear in general.
Hmm. Absolutely. What is the new name then? Consolidated ISO, or what is it?
No, no, yeah, it's good. It's a good question. We had that debate. No, it will be. We officially it's an acquisition by ISO. We're treating it as a merger because we really are coming together
Hmm.
as one team. But it will continue to be ISOEnergy.
Okay, super. And what are the conditions then? I mean, the private placement is $4.50, if I'm correct, per unit. And what is the exchange rate then for a consolidated share?
Yeah, they every consolidated shareholder will get half
Hmm.
of a ISOEnergy share.
Okay, super. So it's like $2.25 value.
It was 240 at the time of
Too
the
far.
of the arrangement. That's
Mhm.
right. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
super. All right, so that sounds all logical, and I think it makes really sense, to be honest. I mean, uranium is hot. Uranium will move forward. That is also for sure. We must not discuss now supply demand because that speaks for itself.
yeah,
Let's come to hurricane. You just brought
yeah.
out your summer exploration update and corporate update. So can you please comment a bit what was important for you in the summer? You drilled almost 5,300 meters, and I saw you had already some, again, as usual, I would say already great intercepts with 8.5 meter, 4.1%. Yeah, stuff like this. This is fantastic because the
Yeah.
average in uranium in the world is like, I think, what is it, 0.1, 0.2%,
Yeah,
something
that's
like
right.
that.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah.
low. So you guys keep hitting extreme high grade. So please comment on that, please.
Yeah, so that's right. So, we continue to be focused, and just to back to the transaction, it's one reason why we fit in so good with Consolidated. They've got a lot of stuff they want to do. We're very supportive of the activities they've been doing and want to support growth on that side. And they're very supportive of the exploration that we continue to do. So it'll continue to be a key part of the merged company going forward. You're right. We came out of a great summer program, all done safely within budget. And yeah, we did 5,300 meters of drilling and a whole bunch of geophysical work, which I can talk to. But yeah, on La Rock East and specifically and around Hurricane, we hadn't done a lot of drilling there for a while. We kind of did the outer edges of the deposit. For the most part, we came up with the resource, but there is still some areas that we wanted to test, and frankly, we've got kind of a new exploration team in place with an enormous amount of experience who are looking at a few of these things a little bit differently than before, and identifying some areas that need some additional work, or we can do some additional work on. So that's exciting. You're right. One of the holes we did, and this is part of sort of the one of the south little pod of Hurricane that didn't stretch to the border, just given where the drilling had been done in the past. We figured that it probably does,
Hmm.
likely stretch to the border, so we wanted to put in a hole. We did. It certainly confirmed that theory or that hypothesis that piece of the ore body does continue over and likely over to the border. So it'll add a little bit to the deposit, which is great. There's also a lot of work that's been done over the summer, some other drilling and really some really innovative geotechnical work. We deployed a technology called ANT,
Hmm.
ambient noise tomography, which is really something quite new coming out of the space program in Australia, out of a company called Fleet. And so it's really to use seismic activity to have another look under the surface and get a sense for what the makeup is before you go in and do some drilling. And so we were able to deploy that over Hurricane to kind of give us sort of a baseline of what does it look like if this technology finds uranium, very dense uranium, and we've got some great information out of that. We believe that it's identifying some great areas to target over the winter and summer program ahead. So that was also a very exciting piece of work that just got completed over the summer.
Hmm. Okay, super. Um, will you do also like a winter drilling program then?
We will, yeah. So we're right now just assessing all the information that came in from the
Hmm.
drilling, and again from this ant technology. We also did quite a bit of helicopter geophysical surveying, some DTEM surveying. So yeah, we're bringing all that information together, and yeah, right now coming up with our winter program. So, there's a break in the actual activities, but it's not that long a one. It's
Mhm.
already almost November. We'll be back, planning to be back up north by early January,
Mhm.
and deploying a winter program. And certainly there's places that are better suited even to a winter program. There'll be places that we can do some drilling and
Mhm.
testing that are even a little easier to access
Mhm.
in the winter. So yeah, we're very excited by the results
Mhm.
from the summer and how we're going to use those results to identify the best targets for the winter.
Mhm. Okay. So, if we look at your results you have presented so far, this is one of the highest grade properties
Yeah,
in the world. I think it's
yeah,
only NextGen is probably higher a little bit. And I think, to my feeling, maybe you need a little bit more critical mass. It's still a bit too
yeah.
small to develop.
Mhm.
When do you think this could
Mm.
happen that you have the critical mass? And
Yeah,
when will you do, let's say, the next step in the development for
yeah.
Hurricane?
Yeah, look, I mean, our grades are actually at Hurricane are the highest in the world. So the average grade is 34.5%. Next gen with Arrow is it's just a much bigger deposit, so that's their advantage. They have, what is really the best undeveloped deposit in the world. We love Hurricane. You're right. It's right around 50 million pounds, which is a little smaller
Hmm.
than some of the big elephants that have been developed in the basin in the past,
Yeah.
MacArthur, Cigar, even what Arrow will be in the future. What we're doing right now, though, is we will continue. Like I said, we've got some ideas on potentially drilling around this deposit and seeing if there is additional resources. But even if there isn't, Jochen, we believe it is very viable economically to go forward. What we're
Hmm.
doing right now is we've done some internal work, concept studies on mining methods.
Hmm.
So it may not be the best thing to deploy the same mining methods as there is at Cigar Lake or MacArthur River, because those Cigar Lake is a very similar type of deposit, unconformity hosted, very high grade.
Hmm.
We're actually shallower than Cigar, so but they've got the volume in order to deploy a higher cost mining method. So you have to do a bunch of freezing, you go underground, all that. It costs a lot. It becomes a low cost mining operation because you've got it spread across the number of pounds. So without that number of pounds, we're looking to be more innovative. There's a lot of work going on in the basin to deploy different techniques on mining. So if your listeners know Denison mines,
Hmm.
they've got a very similar size. They're a little bit bigger, probably 70 million pounds. Similar grades, a little bit lower, a little bit deeper, but they're doing, looking at in situ recovery. So that's something you can do from surface. It's a lower cost application if it works. It looks very promising. There's also uh, Arano has developed a technology called Sabre, which
Hmm.
deploys a jet boring technique, which is used underground at Cigar, but it does it from the surface. So much less cost, less capital cost to go and develop underground. So if you can deploy something like that, and we're looking at those types of innovative techniques from surface,
Hmm.
and you've got such a small footprint, right? When you've got 50 million pounds at 34.5%, it doesn't cover a lot of ground. It's several hundred, 100 meters, and
Yeah.
so it's very tiny. And so there are ways we think we can mine it from surface that would today be very economic. I guess the only other piece is we do think there's probably a significant amount of additional resource or some additional resource, but it's on the other side of the border. So
Hmm.
those that are familiar with our story know that the highest grade part of Hurricane goes right onto our property border. On the other side is a property called Dawn Lake, owned by Cameco and Orano. They've in the last couple of years they've done a fair bit of exploration. They've built a camp, done exploration. So we know there's something on the other side because the highest grade part's right up there. We don't know how much. That's certainly their story to tell and develop. In the meantime, we're going to figure out what is the best way to mine our side
Hmm.
of this deposit on its own on a standalone basis in an economic way. And in the meantime, there's certainly more work to be done, I guess, on the other side, which will be interesting to hear uh, any information on that if and when it comes to market.
Hmm. Okay, super. Maybe to finish the interview, a
Yeah.
comment on Hawk Ranger East Rim. What's going on there?
Yeah, so Hawk is one of our most one of the properties we like the most. We've done a few holes on it so far. We've done some geophysical work. We did some ant work on it as well. We continue to like this area a lot. There's some great conductors in there that we're testing. It's a little deeper, so it's going to take a little bit, a little longer probably
Mhm.
to do some of the number of holes. But yeah, we continue to like it, and all the work we did this summer continues to point us in that direction. In Ranger, we did some initial drilling this summer, first time there. Listen, both those properties, that one and East Rim, they're earlier stage, but we've been doing the initial geophysical work and a little bit of initial drilling to really line them up as a couple of the next phase in our exploration efforts. And as when we found Hurricane, that really diverted our efforts on exploration for a good couple of years, 2 3 years.
Mhm.
So we've got all these other properties that we haven't done a ton of work on over a number of years, and so just in the last few programs, we've been trying to advance these other areas and these other properties, and really find the ones that we want to spend the most time, effort, and resources on to
Mhm.
continue to explore. So yeah, more to come on all three of those, but really some of the best ones and most prospective
Mhm.
properties in our portfolio.
Okay, super. So then I would suggest 4 weeks, get the merger done. By Christmas,
Yeah,
everything clear, and then let's rock in the new year. And maybe uranium is already at 90, 100. We will
yep.
see.
Well, your lips to God's ears, I guess, Joachim.
I try to.
Yeah, yeah. Look,
Absolutely.
it all looks very good. We're very happy with where the market is. Like you said at the beginning, it's
Yes,
the best thing is it's all because of fundamentals. It's all backed
absolutely.
by supply demand fundamentals.
Yeah.
The world needs more uranium. The demand is growing, and there hasn't, as you know, been a lot of development over the last number of years. So more is needed, and that's good for us.
Yeah, and we need many, many more minds. That's also for
Yeah.
sure. Super. All right. Tim, thank you very much for your time. All the best. And I have a good feeling that we talk quite soon.
Thanks, Joachim. Real
Super.
pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tim Gabrusch, the CEO of IsoEnergy. You heard it. The merger is going on 28th November. There is then the annual meeting, and for the election of the merger, looks like everything goes very smooth through. And yeah, don't forget $36.6 million. They are just in the mode racing here and heavily oversubscribed. In those times, not normal, but it speaks for the quality of the company, the quality of the projects. And don't forget, uranium is hot, and you really should make sure check out IsoEnergy. And I'm a shareholder, of course, in IsoEnergy and also Consolidated Uranium. As you know, I'm a total uranium bull, and I think we have some really, really nice, shiny, good times in front of us. So check it out. Thanks for watching us, and bye bye from Switzerland.